What's going on, everybody? B Scott here with
G.O.D.
And on today's show, we're going with the matchups.
Yeah.
Week 6.
Six.
No Thursday night football. It sucks. Thank you.
It don't really suck.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying? They just figured out how to get rid of Thursday night football.
hey, it was supposed to be the Chiefs and the Bills this week, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got 2 games on the Monday night docket, obviously. But yeah, we're going to be going over the starts, sits, pick'ems, all that good stuff for week 6. So keep it locked and loaded right here at the first 4 downs.
You already know. Plugged up. Drop it.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. B Scott and G.O.D. here, and we're going over the matchups. It's week 6, no Thursday night football.
Yeah.
They played on Tuesday night. Buffalo Bills blown out. Pretty embarrassing.
Thursday night football sucks anyway.
Well, Bills and Chiefs, that was probably going to be a pretty good game. It does usually suck on Thursdays, but
Yeah.
before we get into today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb, bell. Talk to us. Let us know what we can do, what you want to hear, period. I mean, we're here for you. That's why we're here. So we'll jump into the matchups. First matchup on the docket, we got Atlanta on the road against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Julio Jones is back. That's a positive. No Dan Quinn. That's a positive. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Matt
sure.
Ryan, I would probably be firing him up in this spot. I mean, the last couple weeks he's had some tough defenses to play against, but still Julio affects that offense immensely. So I would be taking a chance on Julio Jones. He was removed from the injury report. Is he hurt? Probably still a little bit. He's probably not 100%, but I would take a chance on him. He's obviously healthy enough to go. I mean, I would take a chance.
You know what? And honestly, give him Minnesota secondary. I mean, he got a broke leg out there right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that he would at least get you 10 points.
Yeah, of course. So Julio's definitely a start. Calvin Ridley for me. Hayden Hurst, in my opinion, is almost a lost cause. At the point where tight ends are in the season, where they've struggled all over and it's been a hit and miss, I would probably just be rather taking a chance on a tight end than trusting Hayden Hurst at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, until he shows something. So, flip side of the ball, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson should eat. I think this is a good spot for him. He runs a lot of his routes out of the slot. Atlanta's been destroyed by wide receivers overall, especially out of the slot. So Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, both these guys should do very well.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook ruled out, or about to be ruled out. Pretty much ruled out. So Alexander Madison, obvious start. I would probably start Cousins in this matchup, depending on what quarterback you got. It's a spot for me. I could take a chance on him. Atlanta.
Hey man, it's crazy. Like Atlanta sucks, and so does Miami. You know what? I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy explosion in this game for the starters. You know what I mean? You got Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones. If Julio Jones played, if I was the organization, I probably wouldn't play Julio Jones. I'll wait one more week because this matchup is not going to define the rest of your season.
Right.
You know what I mean? Are you going to be competing for the division based on this game?
No.
Probably not. So you probably shouldn't start your catalyst on offense right
Yeah,
now.
of course.
You know what I'm saying? So looking to it, though, everybody should be startable in this game. The defenses are terrible.
Yeah.
You look at Atlanta secondary; they've been thrashed with injuries. You know what I'm saying? So has Minnesota.
Yep.
It's a 54.5 over and under. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota's favored by 4 points. I don't know. I think that if Julio Jones is playing this game, given that Dalvin Cook is out, I think that Atlanta comes in this game and wins this football game somehow, some kind of way, without Dan Quinn, whatever. You know what I mean? It is a dome game, so that is very good for Matt Ryan. And I just see Atlanta winning this game, kind of. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm starting everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I think that for key for Minnesota to win the game, Atlanta gives the second most against the tight end position, 14.9 fantasy points per game. So if you want to get Irv Smith in there, who you know what I'm saying, has an uptick in targets and production in the last couple of weeks, or Kyle Rudolph, who knows? He might have that rogue touchdown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I called him 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
Yeah, Madison. Yeah, you got to start him. Period. You know what I'm saying? The production is going to get there.
Yep.
But with him gone, that's a 1 week thing. You know what I'm saying? They're on bye next week, so we should see Cook back and dominating the way he usually does.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say Minnesota's gonna have this game at home. I've been hoping on Atlanta for the last couple weeks to win the football game, so I'm gonna say Minnesota at home. We can split on that, but this to me is a pick 'em.
Yeah, but honestly, you're starting everybody. Gurley,
Oh yeah, of
Ridley,
course.
you know what I'm saying? Probably Hayden Hurst probably getting a touchdown. He might get a touchdown twice.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Of course. So especially when I say to sit them, that's the worst part. Next game, we're looking at Baltimore and Philly. Baltimore side of the football, they struggled a little bit on offense. They just haven't found that full gear, that full bore where they're just dominating teams, right? And the defense is great. You already know.
Yeah.
So Baltimore side of the ball, Only guy I'm really sitting, Mark Ingram. He hasn't been very efficient with his carries. They're running a three-headed. That's what I'm saying. They're running a three-headed monster. I'm just out on starting one of those guys. I mean, if you got to start him, I get it. If in your flex or whatever, but Philly's actually been pretty good against the rush. Not great, but not horrible.
Their D-line is pretty good, you know what I'm saying? And, given we seen Cincinnati last week with Geno Atkins back in the lineup, giving Lamar Jackson a little bit of hell, and that just shows you that the offensive line has not been playing very well, so that trickles down to the running game as well. And, but they're still winning games without Lamar being Lamarckable. You know what I'm saying? So, you look at their attempts, they're number one in air yards per attempt, and it's just like inches where they're not getting it there. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see a lot of Darius Slay on Marquise Brown, but I think they're going to explode in this game. And I mean, who is Wentz? Are they going to be able to put up an offensive game? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You look at last week, Miles Sanders, he had like 80-something yards rushing, but he also had a 74-yard touchdown.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it don't really look good. I just don't know. Is Fulgham going to be that guy?
Yeah. For me, I like Fulgham as a start in this matchup just based on pure volume. Period. Miles Sanders, if you drafted him, you're starting him. I mean, that's how I feel with it. Last week was a tough matchup against Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. He busts off 75-yard touchdown. That tells me all it takes is one play for him to be effective. So and he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
And the Ravens do struggle there.
Exactly. So I would start Miles Sanders in this matchup. I would start Fulgham on the just the pure volume. 16 targets last week, 10 catches, 150, and a touchdown. You know what I mean? Against Pittsburgh Steelers secondary that has been beat up a little bit. Baltimore Ravens been great, period, overall on defense. But in a pure volume aspect, that's the guy I would start.
Do you see any window where Philly can win this game?
Yes. And why is because I feel like Philly just tends to win games they probably shouldn't. I mean, I didn't think that – you never thought they would beat the Niners, considering the Niners playing with every single backup whooped the Giants, not even close. And they had the third string team out. You know what I mean? Out there, and they dominated the Giants. So I thought with Philly already struggling, there was no way the Philly was going to beat the Niners. On Sunday Night Football, I mean, come on. You never expected that. And what happened? They came out and they got it done. Carson Wentz, as bad as he's played, 9 interceptions, I want to say, on the season so far already, he still has that will in that fight. You know, he brought the team back against Cincy. They did tie. They didn't win that game, but still, it was on his shoulders. Is where it's been, and he's willed it to win.
And also in that Niners game, Fulgham did catch a touchdown in that one.
Yeah, of course. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I think you're on the same boat. There's no way you go against them. Baltimore. They whooped Cincy. You're firing at the starters. Mark Ingram, maybe you sit him. You know, I personally probably would be looking for different options. If you got to start him, I get it. And we already said Sanders, Fulgham was really Zach Ertz. I mean, he's MIA. I don't know what the hell happened. But anyway,
he's old.
We'll move to the next matchup. Chicago. This is a tough one. On the road against Carolina. And for me, David Montgomery has not looked good so far. But this is a game where he could have 100 yards. Carolina is not good against the running backs. They haven't been all year. They've given up, I want to say, the most rushing yards.
Yeah, they're third worst to the running back position, giving 27 fantasy points per game. You know what I'm saying? You look at Tariq Cohen's absence in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
David Montgomery has had 14 targets.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? The uptick could be there. I just don't know what you're going to get in this game. I think that both of these teams are kind of the same in a different type of way. You know what I mean? You look at Carolina, they've been dynamic passing the ball, running the ball. And honestly, Mike Davis has been a beast in Christian McCaffrey's absence. You know what I'm saying? And the best thing that he does is catch the ball. And Chicago, even though they do got a pretty stout defense, you know what I'm saying, they do struggle against pass catching running back. So I think he's a surefire start in this game. Both teams, I don't know, it's a 45.5 over and under. Carolina's favored by 1.5 points. Do you really think that Nick Foles can come in there and execute? He's been missing on a lot of throws, not hitting, but missing, you know, Allen Robinson and the crew, just barely, just inches and yards. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So can he execute in this game? I mean, Carolina's secondary has been playing pretty well.
Well, this is my thing with Nick Foles. Do I think he's a great quarterback, great passer? Not necessarily, but I'll tell you what. I feel like he gets the job done when he needs to. He makes the big plays when he did that drop-in pass to David Montgomery for that first down for the field goal to win that game. You know, against Tampa, it's like when the game's on the line, he makes the plays. I don't know what it is. He could look bad all game, but when it matters, he gets it done. Allen Robinson in this game should feast. Carolina has been very good against the wide receivers, giving up third fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. But they've given up points to the number ones. They have. I mean, I got stats right here for you. 3 number one receivers. Mike Evans, 7, 104 and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, 13, 132 and a touchdown. Calvin Ridley, just last week, 8, 132. Not last week, the week before. So they've given up good points to the number one wide receiver. Allen Robinson, 57 targets on the season, averaging 11 targets a game. That's insane. Just the volume alone. 16 targets he's coming off of. I mean, outside of him and Montgomery, I don't trust anybody in this game. This game's probably going to be pretty low scoring. Over-under's got to be low, somewhere in the low 40s.
Yeah, so it's 45.
Exactly. So, Carolina side of the ball, Chicago's been great on all-around defense. They've been good. They haven't been the best, but they've been elite. So, I don't know what you're going to do with the pass catchers there, but obviously you're not sitting Mike Davis. He's been great.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater. Chicago hasn't given up a multi-touchdown game to a quarterback this season. They played Matt Ryan, Tom Brady. They played some great quarterbacks, period. So I would probably be sitting Bridgewater here. I'm going to take Chicago at home.
But none of those...
Or Chicago, I'm sorry, Chicago on
But
the road.
none of those quarterbacks are mobile. I mean, Bridgewater can break out of the pocket and extend plays, especially with speed guys like DJ Moore and Roby that's been running out of the slot a lot and having a lot of success there. So I think that they can, game break this game, you know what I mean, and beat them at home. They've been playing pretty well. Even Arizona came in there and they got work, you know what I mean? And Arizona, their aerial assault is pretty good, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm picking Carolina in this game just to win it at home.
Okay. I can see that.
Carolina. A home dog, no, not a home dog. They favored by 1.5.
Yeah.
That half does scare me, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a pick kind of game. I get it.
The pace with Chicago, I don't know if David Montgomery is that kind of guy. Is he a RB1?
I think he might be able to get it done. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're split on that game also. So we'll move to Cincy. On the road. Indianapolis Colts.
Shocker alert. I don't know.
Okay. I get it. I'm going to tell you right now, the Colts defense is still very good. They lost the Cleveland Browns last week. You predicted it. You were right on. And you were right on with the aspect that Phillip Rivers still sucks.
Yeah.
He's absolutely horrible. In my opinion, a bad game like that, they should probably turn to Brissett pretty soon. I would think Brissett, could give him a little more advantage. And that's hard to say considering Phillip Rivers has had a great career. He is a great quarterback.
What I think about Indianapolis Colts. Okay, so with Darius Leonard leading the way on that defense, they are an outstanding defense. They can stop the run, and they run a zone defense, and they can also keep the pass in front of them. Without Darius Leonard, they're going to struggle there. Now, you look at Cincinnati. They are number 2 in plays per game. No matter what, they're not going nowhere. They're going to keep throwing the ball. They're going to keep coming. Can they do what Baltimore did to them? I don't know. I don't necessarily know. They've not really played nobody. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? You've seen with Cleveland. Now, given, I'm not saying that Cincinnati is anything close to Cleveland at this point, you know what I'm saying, as a football team. But what I do know is Joe Burrow is going to throw the ball. He doesn't throw it deep a lot. And that zone defense that Indianapolis runs, he can hit Tyler Boyd all day. And you know what I'm saying? You look at A.J. Green, a veteran guy like that, they can find those pockets in that zone. You know what I'm saying? This could be mixing season in this game without Darius Leonard is what I'm saying. I think, just knowing that they're going to keep throwing the ball, they're going to keep coming, and that defense is going to be on the field a lot, I think they get tired in the end and maybe waver down. Now, you got to think, if let's say early, Cincinnati gets up 7, maybe 10 points. Maybe let's say that they can. Can Rivers bring them back and score points? This offense is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Taylor, he should be getting all the run there, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? There's a committee there with Nyheim Hines and Wilkins for some reason.
Yeah. I
don't understand it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. He's a monster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, what's going on? The outside of the San Francisco 49ers, they have the best run offensive line in football. Why aren't they producing? And I think that answer is Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. I get it. In this game, Cincinnati Bengals side of the ball. Mixon. Pure volume period, you're going to start him. It's a tough spot. Indianapolis Colts, not giving up a lot of great rushers, even last week. Kareem Hunt, 72 rushing yards on 20 attempts. He's actually had the most rushing yards against the Colts at 72 yards. So that tells me Mixon, we've seen already, struggle to run the football between the tackles. His yards per carry is not very good. He had the one blow-up game. So Not saying sit Mixon. I mean, he's carrying the ball 20 plus times a game. I would be starting him, even if you got to start him as your running back
But
two
I'm
or
telling you,
flex.
their weakness is that zone defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, Mixon is great catching the ball to the backfield.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, of course, Mixon to start. Tyler Boyd is definitely a trustworthy guy. T. Higgins. If the Bengals are going to win, T. Higgins has to find the end zone. Or maybe A.J. Green. We'll see which one it is. I like T. Higgins.
46.5 over and under. Vegas has Indianapolis favored by 8 points. I say that they don't cover. I'm not sure if Cincinnati wins, but I don't think they cover.
take. Yeah, absolutely. I would take Cincinnati, obviously, in the plus.
Yeah.
Just a second on the Colts side of the ball. For fantasy, Jonathan Taylor, that's all I can trust. In my opinion, there's no one else that I really can say, hey, I'm going to jump out and start. Yeah. Taylor is a guy, he's not going to do great, but he's not going to do bad either. He's probably going to be right where he is. 50,
you look
60,
at T.Y.
yards.
Hilton. In 15 games, he hasn't had a 100-yard receiving game.
Yeah.
And
he hasn't even cleared 75 yards, they said, since week 1 of last season.
That's even wide receiver 1 number since week 1 of last.
And he still projected 10 points. Like, Yahoo,
it's
what
ridiculous.
are you doing?
Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yahoo, you're projecting 10 points.
Washed.
Yeah, the guy, I mean, Phillip Rivers plays a factor in that, but also.
I mean, you got to watch number 1 and then watch quarterback.
Right.
Get out of here.
Okay. So we're going to split on that. I still got the Colts. I think their defense is good enough. Even with Darius Leonard missing the game, I got the Colts. We'll move on. Cleveland and Pitt. This should be a great football game to watch, essentially, period. So I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. They've been just balling out, period.
Yeah.
Cleveland side of the ball. Kareem Hunt, you're starting him even though it is a tough spot. Miles Sanders had the big run last week for the touchdown, but outside of that, they've contained running backs, period.
Yeah.
They really have on the season. But Kareem Hunt is Kareem Hunt. You know, you're starting him. And OBJ. Pittsburgh has been beat. 4th most points to the wide receiver position, I want to say. I would start OBJ, but he's out with an illness. Jarvis Landry is ailing. Baker Mayfield's got
That's
the
what I'm saying.
ribs.
There's a lot of question marks on that offense. You don't know who's starting. You don't know if the quarterback's starting or both of the wide receivers are starting. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I got Pittsburgh in this one. To be honest with you, through the air, they're both terrible. Cleveland, 3rd most versus the wide receiver position in fantasy, 31 points a game. Pittsburgh, 5th most, 30 points a game. So, you know what I'm saying? It's 51 over and under for Vegas. Pittsburgh favored by 3.5. I got Pittsburgh by a touchdown, to be honest with you, in this game. I think Pittsburgh just takes it home.
Okay. Pittsburgh side of the ball, just get to the starters. Ben Roethlisberger, obviously. I would start Juju, like you said, just great matchup, even though he hasn't been great this season. Claypool, I would be starting him because Deontay Johnson is out. Absolutely. Deontay Johnson's already been ruled out. So Claypool, I'm definitely starting him. Ebron should get a touchdown in this one. I'm actually going to be streaming him this week and hopefully gets a touchdown, right? But, yeah, we're both on Pittsburgh, obviously. We can just move to the next one. So, Denver on the road against New England. Can you start anybody on the Denver side of the football? Drew Lock, they're saying he's questionable, but the coach said if there was a probable tag, he'd be probable. So that means Drew Lock will be back. Melvin Gordon, who knows what's going to happen, got sent home with an illness. He's probably still hungover from his DUI 2 days before.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So, if he plays, who knows? New England's been very good against running backs on the season so far. So even if Gordon is out, I probably wouldn't be starting Lindsey. It's a tough spot. Coming off an injury and hasn't played in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So the only guy I would trust on Denver's side of the ball, for some reason I'm leaning towards Judy. Okay, Stephon Gilmore should be back. I'm thinking he's going to be a little more on Tim Patrick on the outside. Maybe he covers Judy. Who knows? Maybe they just mix it up. But I just like Judy in this matchup. If you got to Noah Fant, he's also questionable. He might play, but they're saying he may not be 100%. But I can't pick against the New England Patriots at home.
Yeah, I can. I think all hands going to have to be on deck for Denver to win this game. Noah Fant's going to have to play. Tim Patrick is going to have to be able to make plays.
Yeah.
And Judy should be effective in the slot. Who knows at the running back position? And honestly, on the other side of the ball, you look at Cam Newton just being cleared for the COVID.
Yep.
In Mile High, although he was asymptomatic, you have to wonder if that altitude affects him a bit. You know what I'm saying? He's a big guy, and he runs the football a lot. You know what I'm saying? So you look at the running back position. Their best running back right now, we seen like 2 weeks ago, was Damian Harris on 17 carries. He got 100 yards. So, you know what I'm saying? But also, he's not getting no goal line work. Nobody's getting goal line work over there against the best, DVOA run defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? With Denver. So, I just don't see a lot of fantasy points there. I'm sitting all those guys, to be honest with you, in that backfield. Outside of James White, catching passes out of the backfield, he could probably be effective. But other than that, I don't see it. I don't see a lot in this game. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna take New England money line, to be honest with you. Unless Drew Lock plays and they could show some kind of, you know what I'm saying, spark there. I don't know. I don't like this game at all.
I got you. I'm on a similar boat. I don't really want to start a lot of these starters. Maybe Cam Newton. You know,
Yeah.
he has played very well. Maybe Julian Edelman. We've seen pass catchers with similar stature, Jameson Crowder, be effective against Denver. Put up 100 yards.
He
put up
is
a touchdown.
old. He is old,
He
going up
is.
to Mile High. You know what I mean? So
It's just a possibility. Flex guy if you have to. But yeah, of course. I'm taking New England. There's no way around it. We can move on. Detroit. On the road against Jacksonville.
yeah.
I like Detroit in this game. I really do. Jacksonville has actually not played very well at home. They don't get me wrong, they beat the Colts week 1. You know, but the Colts I think beat themselves in that game. Phillip Rivers two bad turnovers, gave him short field. Minshew only had 175 passing yards in that game, which is efficient enough. He had 3 touchdowns, but the other game, Miami Dolphins, they got spanked at home. And actually Minshew on the road in 3 games has averaged over 300 passing yards. So in this game, Detroit side of the ball, both these defenses are bottom 10.
Yeah, they're terrible. I was just looking at it like, oh my god.
So
is that really?
Kenny Galladay, absolute starting this. Matthew Stafford, of course, has been pretty good. Adrian Peterson, he's going to be ready to go. You know, he had an illness, missed a little practice, but this is an Adrian Peterson game, 80 yards and
dare
touchdown
you
probably.
say Adrian Peterson before you say James Robinson?
Well, I haven't got to Jacksonville, okay?
Detroit is the worst versus the running back. They give up 28.6 points to the running back position, fantasy, and 27.2 again for versus the wide receiver. This is going to be a shootout. Vegas got a 54.5 over and under. Detroit favored by 3.5. I honestly feel like Detroit is the better football team right now. And, you know, given off that they're coming off a bye, Kenny Galladay is fresh. You know what I'm saying? You know, earlier in the season, he had a hamstring. So he did produce when he come back. So I think they figure out this Marvin Jones situation. It's crazy. He's been on the field 92% of the time that Stafford is throwing the ball. So, you know what I mean? It makes no sense why his fantasy production is just bageled at this point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's stupid.
That's because what he does is he leads everybody up thinking, oh, let's just sit Marvin Jones. He ain't doing nothing. All of a sudden, he just blows up on your bench. He does it every year.
And I'm telling you,
he always does it.
I think this is going to be the week. He's going to slap.
It better not be this week because the guy I'm playing has to play him in his flex, okay?
And I think they all going to slap. You know what I'm saying? Even Hawk, you know what I'm saying? Jacksonville, they give up 12 points to the tight end position, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Hawk season long, I'll just love Hawk, period. But in this game, they're going to clown, too. I don't know. I think Detroit wins this one.
Yeah, okay.
Period.
I'm on the same boat. I like Detroit on the road. Jacksonville side of the ball, like you said, James Robinson. This is a great spot for him. The last couple weeks, you saw him kind of decline a little bit in his numbers overall. First game last week without 100 total yards. So hopefully he just gets it back and actually has a very effective game. DJ Chark, going to be a game time decision. Hopefully that doesn't affect Gardner Minshew too much. The one game DJ Chark didn't play, they got whooped by the Dolphins. You know what I mean? So hopefully it doesn't affect him. Laviska Shenault, sleeper in this one. He's a great player overall.
He's been dealing with a hammy too, though.
Yeah, he has. He was pulled off the injury report, practiced in full. I'm pretty sure. So he's definitely a sleeper for me and Keelan Cole. If DJ Chark's out, I'd probably start both these wide receivers. But yeah, I'm on Detroit.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. Houston on the road against Tennessee. This is a good matchup too, especially a divisional
All
matchup.
these matches this week are crazy.
I know. I mean, once we get out here to the Rams and the Niners, this is another tough divisional one. But
Yeah, I don't even know what to say there.
Houston, Tennessee. Tennessee coming off a big win against the Buffalo Bills, where they really spanked them. I mean, they should have. They had, 2.5 weeks to prepare for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you think of it that way. Ryan Tannehill looking great. Houston side of the ball, they're coming off their first win of the season. That's good for them under Romeo Crennel. I'm starting Deshaun Watson in this game for sure. Tennessee, although they did hold Josh Allen to just 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and honestly, Allen's worst game of the season so far, I still like Deshaun Watson. Will Fuller, been a great bright spot on offense, and he's been healthy.
Point.
Yeah, and he's been healthy. You know, so that's a good spot. Yeah, the one donut game or what happened, but he's been healthy so far, healthy enough to play. Cooks and Cobb in this game, in my opinion, are flex-worthy guys. If you got to take a chance on one and put them in your flex, I could start either one of them. You know, if you got them on your roster and you have to put them in. There's some big bye weeks, but those are guys that are flexible for me. Same token with the tight end position. You're throwing darts, right? Darren Fells, last week, 40 yards and a touchdown. Akins was out. Akins is game time decision this week. If Akins is out, maybe you look at Darren Fells again. You saw last year he had 10 touchdowns. You know, the touchdowns are definitely there. Akins, I just feel like he's a better athlete. He's a better tight end, but if he's out, Fells is a dart throw option at tight end. Houston side of the ball, it's easy. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Jonnu Smith, A.J. Brown. That's what you're starting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Period. And I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans at home.
Yeah, 53 over and under. Tennessee favored by 3. Check it out. The Texans, they've been playing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? For the secondary, but they've given up 108 passer rating to the quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking Tannehill and his efficiency. You seen it last week. He threw under 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's crazy. A.J. Brown is back. He wasted no time getting in there and just getting things done. You know what I'm saying?
Targeted a lot, too. That was a good sign.
And it was all in the first half. Just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can take the second half off. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish he would have got one more catch, but that's all right.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, but they also 31st against the run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a spot for Derrick Henry. On the season, he's averaging 3.7 yards per carry. So, I mean, this is a prime spot for them to eat the clock up and just be efficient the way that they roll. They're getting 68 plays per game on the season so far, which is different from last year. It's like night and day pretty much. But, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, they've been a shootout. So,
yeah.
But it's showing that their offense is there and they're here to play football. You know what I'm saying? This is a real playoff caliber team.
Undefeated.
Man, I like the Tennessee Titans right now, and I don't think Texans got a shot.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Texans really struggled. But who knows? This is a divisional game. You know what I mean? It's going to be a close one. It could be a lot lower scoring than you would think. That's how a lot of divisional games are.
Throw the ball. Just throw the ball. Run the ball a little bit. Throw the ball. You got to throw more. You got to pass more. 56 plays a game. That's not going to get it. That's not going to get you wins.
Not for the Texans.
No, it's not, especially not in that division.
Yeah, and David Johnson's got to be a little more efficient. Maybe utilize him in the pass game. And
last week he had 17 carries for 96 yards. That's pretty good. That's a show and tell of he can be productive. But
we still haven't seen him running routes really though.
Yeah,
that's where he thrived last year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's a great route runner as a running back. So anyway, we're on the Tennessee Titans. We can move on. Washington football team, New York Giants. Yep. I'm gonna say the Washington football team's gonna win the game. The Giants just.
I gotta like turn the knife a little bit because you've been saying Daniel Jones like every week.
Oh no.
1 touchdown to nine turnovers.
Yeah, you know what? Last week
4 consecutive fumbles besides week 1, and you know when the last time he threw a touchdown? Week 1.
Yeah. This is my thing.
It's embarrassing.
Daniel Jones is that player that you just don't even have on your roster anymore. It's a guy that you shouldn't even have on your team. Even in a 16-man league, if you were playing super flexes, I would start a tight end over in my flex spot. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it's been. I think he had 9 fantasy points, you know what I mean, against the Dallas Cowboys secondary. Didn't throw a touchdown against the worst secondary in the league.
I'd rather play safety.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Washington football team. Antonio Gibson. Only guy I can really trust. Terry McLaurin, a lot of volume, don't get me wrong, but he's got a tough matchup.
Yeah, Bradbury ain't playing.
Yeah, exactly. He's been great. So,
you know what I'm saying?
I could see us sit there. This game could be very low scoring, like 13-6 or something like that. You know what I mean? Giants haven't scored any touchdowns.
The over and under is 43, so the Giants favored by 2.5. They not win. I honestly feel like Washington's gonna win this game. That front seven ain't no joke. Daniel Jones is just throwing the ball. I mean, just turning the ball over. And to be honest with you, Washington secondary is pretty good. They do struggle with the deep ball a little bit. So you figure Darius Slayton with that 4.3 speed could break one, but I mean they ain't threw a touchdown since week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna gamble on that at all. I got Washington winning this football game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, of course. I'm on the same boat. And if we were gonna start anybody on the Giants, Devontae Freeman. You know, he's shown a little life. If you gotta flex him, if you gotta start him,
not for me. You know what?
I got you.
I would probably start Eaglin.
Okay. That defensive line though is still a little beat up for Washington. They're not the same line that they had in the beginning of the season.
I think they'll still be very effective.
But, you know what I mean? It's possible. I like the Washington football team.
You could whisper at Daniel Jones and he's going to turn it over.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just fumble it.
For real. You just hear footsteps. It's crazy.
Ball fall off the top. Anyway, yeah, we're on the Washington football team. I don't like any real true starts in this. If you got to start some guys, it's tough.
Yeah, it's like Gibson, Evan Ingram. Let's move on.
Right.
Yeah.
New York Jets.
Another terrible team.
On the road.
I'm telling you, all these matchups is just crazy.
On the road against Miami Dolphins, who've looked great. They have. They just come off a huge win against San Francisco 49ers in Frisco. Dominated them. And, you know, who's to say, but either way, they were up by 30. You know what I mean? Going into halftime 30-7 anyway. So,
hey, you know what? San Francisco got shocked very early. You know what I'm saying? They had secondary troubles. They promoted the D back up from the practice squad, and that's all Fitzpatrick just hit. You know what I'm saying? They just targeted him, and they just destroyed the Niners, and they didn't have no answer for it. The answer was Jimmy Garoppolo's foot was hurting.
Right? Or
Get
supposedly
here,
removed from injury report.
He sucks.
But yeah, so against the Jets, Miami's at home. There ain't no way you take. They're probably favored by 20, even though Miami's not even good or not great. Don't get me wrong. They're all right. They're
Miami
all right
favored by
team.
9.5, 47 over and under.
Okay, well, I would take Miami if they were favored by 20.5. But
Yeah.
Miami side of the ball, Ryan Fitzpatrick got to start him. Jets have been horrible. That's plain and simple. Devontae Parker starting him. Gaskins, I'm starting him if you got to.
He's been getting to work, man. It's crazy.
Jaceki, tight end, been great. He's been very good. I would start him. Preston Williams, I would start him. I worry.
Yeah, Preston Williams looks a little bit back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was struggling a lot. He was just like slipping in routes at one point when defenders was getting them. So, I mean, just to see him wake up last week was a good sign to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because we seen him in preseason last year.
Yes.
We just seen it. Like, that's the guy right there.
Yeah,
He's dope.
he's going to be good, but
Yeah.
coming off the injury, you know what I mean? You take some weeks to get acclimated. But
Of course.
I worry about them getting up so far they just run the ball and whatever else, you know what I mean? So Gaskin, obviously. But Jet side of the ball. Jamison Crowder, and that's it. That's all I can say. He's been targeted over 10 times. He's averaged over 100 yards and a touchdown. There's no way I can sit that guy because the production is there, even in garbage time.
Man, it's going to be a good day in South Beach.
Yeah, of course. So we'll move on. Green Bay. We're getting to some really tough games, right? We got the fun ones.
I could just get rid of this.
Right? We got the fun ones. Green Bay. On the road against Tampa Bay. Green Bay coming off a bye. Should be huge. Green Bay side of the ball. Aaron Jones. It is a tough matchup. Tampa has been very good against the running back position.
Of course.
Period. They just have been great. But it's Aaron Jones. You're not sitting him like a lot of other guys. If you drafted him as your number one running back, you're going to play him if he's your number two this week.
Given the best defensive tackle versus the run, Vita Vea, they lost him for the season in that Bears game. So, you know, on a Devin White tackle, which was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? His own player hurt him. But, you know, that sucks. But, yeah, I'm looking towards that backfield doing a lot. And Devontae Allen's back. They should be up there shaking it. Now, I do like Tampa, given that Godwin is back. They're like full strength, so we get to see what they can do here. I think this is probably going to be an over game, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to be tight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what happens. I want to see. I mean, given Brady been putting up 30s, you know what I'm saying, for fantasy owners.
Yeah.
But this might be one. I mean, you know, you do got Jair Alexander and King back there, but can they answer this big problem? You know what I'm saying? If Godwin is really healthy, I mean, this could be a monster game.
Yeah, and Alexander. I mean, Mike Evans, 6 touchdowns. I want to say on the season, 5 of them within the 1 yard line.
No, 6 touchdowns on 22 receptions.
I know. That's
ridiculous.
What I'm saying. But 5 of them are within the 1 yard line.
Man.
You know what I mean? It's like he's just getting them. If they get down to the 1, they don't run the ball. They're throwing it to Mike Evans, period.
That's
and I don't know if they're going to be able to stop that either way. But, yeah, I'm with you. I'd fire up all the offensive weapons.
All of them.
These defenses, although they've been good,
Hell,
are okay.
I'll even sleep Gronk in this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We've already seen an uptick in targets, receiving yards, and stuff like that over the last few weeks. No O.J. Howard. So, yeah, Gronk is definitely a guy that I could be starting here. And I like all the offensive weapons on both sides of the ball. Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette looking like a game-time decision. But Ronald Jones has been
I've probably
effective.
been sit Fournette, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Ronald Jones has been effective. He really has. I mean, I don't know who's going to win the football game. You know what I'm going to say?
I'm going to say Tampa at home.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'm going to take Green Bay. And because Green Bay, I feel like, is one of those teams, I say it all the time, the great teams know how to win football games. And I'm not saying Tampa isn't great, but they have lost football games. And especially in prime times, you know what I mean? Tom Brady thought it was 4th down. I don't think so. I thought they got an extra down. I heard they get an extra down in New England. You know what I mean? They get a 5th down sometimes.
He got more Super Bowls rings than them 4 fingers.
That's what I'm saying, exactly. So I'm going to go with Green Bay Packers. They've just been rolling, period. And Aaron Rodgers looking to try and win another MVP.
Honestly, I could see that. I'm gonna just take the home team. I feel like the energy gonna be there, especially losing that tight game to Chicago. I'm taking Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm taking Brady. Let's
Okay.
go.
We got the Rams. Next
Oh my
matchup.
God, I don't even want to talk about this game.
On the road against San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, you just saw coming off a big loss to the Dolphins where they got whooped.
The loss of the year.
Exactly. It wasn't even close. I mean, what, they were favored by probably 7.5? Would you
Vegas feel good because I'm telling you, they won all their money.
Right.
No parlays, nothing yet.
That's what I'm saying. So, this is a divisional game. You know it's going to be tough. Period. These games are always tight. Ram side of the ball. Darrell Henderson.
Base.
What do you do with them this week? You know what I mean? Because you saw 2 weeks ago they struggled against the Giants, which I don't even know why. But there was a lot bigger split then than it was last week. You know, did Henderson get hurt a little in that game or something happened to him where he had to sit out? I mean, I don't know. But I know 2 weeks it was kind of a fluke. You saw last week he had the 2 touchdowns. Played great once again like he did the 2 weeks prior to the week before that. So it's
I told you, I feel like the game plan was, I think that they knew that they could beat the Giants without Darrell Henderson, so they gave Malcolm Brown run, given that he was like banged up or whatever.
Okay.
It was his first game back, so they gave him some run. I mean, the staff obviously trusts him. He's been there a couple of seasons, even under Todd Gurley. So, you know what I mean? I feel like they just pulled Darrell Henderson. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they could win this game. Anybody can win that game.
Right.
Your favorite high school, whatever high school team you went to, could probably have won that game without any of those running backs. So I really feel like that's what happened.
okay. So Ram side of the ball, pass catchers. Cup and Woods. Both have been okay, haven't been great. Is this probably going to be a shootout game? I don't think so. So I worry about them getting enough volume. Unless they, for some reason,
Here's the
blow
thing.
out the Niners.
Here's the thing. Philly, Fogle blew up against the Niners. Well, he had a ridiculous catch against the Niners.
Oh, yeah.
Won a game. Last week, you seen
Deep ball.
Miami killed them. You know what I mean? They're hurting without Richard Sherman. I mean, just his play and his veteran leadership on that team, they're hurting in that secondary. So I think that's what wins this game. I think the Rams go in there and they take this game from them.
Okay. Yeah. So I would be starting Robert Woods. I'd take a chance with Cooper Kupp. I'd probably be sitting Higbee. He's actually struggled. Gerald Everett, I thought before the season coming in, was going to show that he could play football too. That last year he got hurt and Higbee took over in the back end and really dominated. And
I
both
feel
those
like
tight ends.
what you see in the tight end position is not sustainable.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you don't own Cup or Woods, they're streamers after that.
Yeah,
You know
of
what I'm
course.
saying? In the receiving corps.
Yep. And on the Niners side of the ball, Raheem Mostert. He looks great. He
Yeah.
does. Last week
Outside of him,
on
and Kittle, you
limited
ain't starting
limited carry, yeah, on limited carries he dominated. So him and Kittle, Debo, probably going to be tough. Facing Jalen Ramsey on the outside a little bit. They'll move him around. He'll get some plays. Brandon Ayuk, I think, is a little sleeper in this one. All it takes with those guys is one play.
Super
They're
Bowl
home.
curse, Rams win.
Okay, yeah. We'll move on. Kansas City Chiefs. We're at the Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
We got 2 games. Chiefs at Bills. Chiefs coming off a big loss to the Raiders. I'm gonna lean towards the Chiefs in this one, and I like the Buffalo Bills.
I'm
Bills
not
coming off a
leaning
big,
toward the Chiefs. I'm screaming the Chiefs.
okay. Bills coming off a big loss too, and they played some good teams. They
But
beat some games.
Yeah, but you know what? We've seen the games and the teams that they've played against, and there's been a couple of teams that they've just played up to.
Yeah,
The Bills are not there yet. You know what I'm saying? The Kansas City Chiefs, they're there. They got shocked by the Raiders last week, but you know they kind of beefed up where they losing at right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They just signed L. Bell. He will not be there this week, but in the next few weeks, you're gonna see some shock. You know what I'm saying? Their
Yeah.
running back position should be very fluid at this point. You know what I'm saying? Given that Clyde Edwards-Helaire has not exactly run through the tackles how they want them how they want him to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's good in the pass game. I don't think they both gonna be outstanding. Season long, who knows? But we talking about this game. I think they're gonna run through this game. And you know what? My biggest sleeper of the week is in this game. With Sammy Watkins probably being doubtful, even if he plays, he's probably gonna be out.
yeah.
McCall Hardman's finna eat. I think this could possibly be a 20 to 30 point game for McCall Hardman in this one. Or it could flip to Tyreek. He's due for his blowout game. You know what I'm saying? He always has like that 50-point game.
Right.
It probably happens here. You seen Josh Norman just get dogged out, just pushed over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pretty much by AJ Brown. So I mean, that speed with Tyreek Hill and McCall Hardman, come on, man, they're not gonna be able to handle that.
Well, if you think of it like this, the Bills beat the Raiders beat the Chiefs. So that means the Bills should beat the Chiefs, right?
No, not exact.
Well,
Not exact.
of course.
It's not a real science.
Of course. No?
No,
I thought it was a scientist.
no.
Okay. I guess not. I just play one on the video. But anyway, Chiefs, I'm on the same boat. They're just a better football team overall. The defense is good. They did get shocked by the Raiders. Absolutely. They did not expect Derek Carr to be throwing 30-yard bombs downfield.
Yeah.
50-yard bombs. You know what I mean? They just didn't expect that, I don't think. And that's what really hurt them. Derek Carr, very efficient down the field. We already know this.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You think about Josh Jacobs and his production. A lot of people had him in the top 10 or top 5 running back. But what's different about him this year is his reception is down. And it's because Derek Carr is finally throwing down the field and not the dump offs.
Well, and Ruggs dominated against them. But
yeah.
Kansas City, of course, I'm starting the big guys. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
I mean, you can
You know what I mean?
Kelce.
Tyreek Hill. What?
He ain't did shit this year, but it's whatever.
He's coming off a 90-yard, 100-yard touchdown game.
I feel like he ain't the same. I don't know.
No tight end is. Actually, if you look at the tight end numbers overall, across the board, everybody's down at the tight end position.
Except for Mark Andrews.
Well, he has two touchdown games. He still has a game where he was under 5 points. Fantasy.
Bees.
No, he has been. But Kelsey's just missing the blow-ups. Kelsey's been like that slow average if you look at the points. But either way, you're starting Kelsey. If you draft him, there ain't no way you're not starting him. Tyreek Hill. McCole Hardman, definitely a sleeper in this one. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you're going to start him. Buffalo side of the ball. Josh Allen. Been great outside of last week, struggling a little bit. MVP type candidate. He's having a great season so far. Now, yes, he's playing the Kansas City Chiefs. It should be a great game in a shootout. Stephon Diggs. I want to say if he's not leading the league in receiving yards, he was tied for the league lead. Been great. John Brown, fully practiced. He should be good to go. I was shocked that he was ruled out in the last game. So John Brown, I'd probably be firing him up. Maybe Cole Beasley in this one. Who knows? Gabriel Davis is a guy to watch. But if John Brown's there, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And this one. So on the road. We got the last matchup. Arizona. On the road against Dallas. No Dak Prescott.
Arizona wins.
I would say no Kenyon Drake, man. The guy's MIA. Getting a bunch of carries for little bitty yards. But start side of the ball. Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins. Cowboys have been just roasted by fucking wide receivers. It hasn't even been close. So Hopkins should flat out dominate in this game. Probably 10 catches. Over 120 yards. 1 touchdown. Maybe 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Should be that good of a day for him, hopefully. Especially if they're going to try and win this game. Kyler Murray. This should be a shootout. Kyler Murray, you're definitely starting him. Kenyon Drake, I get it. Could be tough. But you could start him. Chase Edmonds. He had the 29-yard rushing touchdown. He's made a lot of work in the passing game. Cowboys have been actually not giving up a lot to pass catchers. 18 receptions, 100 yards, no touchdowns to the running back position. So they've just given up a lot of yards. So I would start Kenyon Drake here, I guess.
Yeah, this is his game.
Yeah.
This is finally his game to break out. Because, I mean, we look at his metrics and everything he does, his advanced metrics. Catching the ball, he don't do nothing.
Well, he hasn't even been targeted.
Those linebackers look terrible. They look very slow without Leighton Vander Esch and Sean Lee. Well, they never have Sean Lee, but you know what I'm saying? They're not there. This is finally his game. And I think that they're going to learn that running Kyler is one thing, but when you run Kenyon Drake, it opens up the passing game. I think they need to just, sit Larry Fitzgerald. He looks like he's a foot in the casket anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and just let him coach or some shit. Let Kurt, Isabella, and Hopkins go to work. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they I think that's what they need to do. And I really got Arizona going there and doing that. Andy Dalton, are we gonna see the Red Rocket? I don't know, bro. Like, I don't like Andy Dalton at all. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Can he support 3 wide receivers? I mean, he did in the targets that he did. You know what I'm saying? When Dak went out. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think this is a Zeke. I think this is a Kenyon Drake type of game. And it might be under, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 55 over under. I'd probably take the under in this one, even though there could be a bunch of points scored. It has shootout potential. Arizona has been good against the wide receivers, giving up the fourth fewest fantasy points to wide receivers, but they have not faced the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers, which, in my opinion, is the best 3 wide receiver set in football. There's not one better. If you look at 3 total receivers.
Facts with Dak Prescott.
Well, I get it. So I'm not even saying that Andy Dalton's going to go out there and fire it up. But here's the deal. If we're going to take the under, I would probably think that they're going to run the ball effectively. They can run on Arizona, period.
Yeah.
Zeke should have a very efficient game, a very big game.
And Dalton Schultz, sleeper in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it.
We know last year that Arizona was notorious letting the tight ends just do whatever they wanted to do.
That's the weird part. So they fixed it so far this season, but they haven't played that many great tight ends.
Yeah,
so
but they ain't played 3 wide receiver set like this one.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
If Dallas is going to pull it off, they got to come out. They got to run the football.
All hands on deck.
Absolutely. They got to run the football. They got to take a lot of that clock off because they already know that secondary is horrible. They're going to give up a lot of passes to DeAndre Hopkins and all that anyway. So It's like be able to stop Kenyon Drake enough because he hasn't been efficient as it is. You know Arizona's going to try and beat you there.
I think that's the only way he's efficient. That linebacking core that they got, they just look terrible, man.
Well,
I think that's where he hits that second. I think that's where he hits that second speed.
Yeah.
In this game,
Jalen Smith, man, he shows up in weird spots. He has last week, great game. I want to say I have 15 tackles in that game last week. But then there's the next game where he has 3 tackles. So it's like, what Jalen Smith are we going to see show up? It is a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. I'm going to lean towards the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm taking Arizona.
Okay, we're split on that. But anyway, that's been the matchups for Week 6, the starts, sits, picks, all that stuff. So for the first 4 downs, it's B. Scott,
G.O.D.
and we out.